Good morning, greetings friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 33 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we are here for you on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number, 844-236-6010, and we love hearing from you. If you have a comment or success story you'd like to share, or if you just want to contribute to the conversation, 844-236-6010. Longevity products can be had, or if you want to sign up to join the Bright Side Ben team, you can call 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470, or go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com and purchase products off the websites and sign up to join the Bright Side Ben team off the website. And then Truth Treatments, Truth Skin Health products can be purchased at truthtreatments.com. Got holiday specials, also a skin blog, and new products as well. Truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Welcome back to The Bright Side. Thanks for being here. We're talking about the skin, my favorite organ. Skin is like a poster child for the idea, the main idea really, perhaps the key concept when it comes to healing the body, or in terms of our success at healing the body, we'll say. And that is the principle that where you see the problem is not where the problem is, or not where the problem begins, or not where you need to be if you're going to address the problem by reversal. You can address the problem by symptom disguise, by working at the level of the skin if you have a rash, or the level of the heart if you have heart disease, or at the level of the liver if you have a fatty liver, or the level of wherever you see the problem. You can take care of it symptomatically, and we got a medical model that does that just fine. It takes care of things symptomatically. It doesn't even do it just fine, but it's reasonably skilled, reasonably effective at dealing with symptoms. Okay, fine. But if you want to take care of the problem, and I would propose that we really do want to take care of the problem, because the problem's always, maybe principle number two. Principle number one is where you see it isn't where you heal it. Principle number two is the problem is always going to get worse if you don't do something about it. The problem isn't where you see it. And the problem will always get worse if you don't do something about it. So there's really a lot of reasons to address the problem versus the symptom. We forgot this. We think the symptom is the issue, and that's why our medical model doesn't work. And it's no knock on the medical model, because its job is to take care of symptoms. Back in the day when it started, it really didn't understand this nature of the causal nature of problems. It's very unsophisticated. Today, to be using concepts and principles that came from the Enlightenment and the Middle Ages, and the 1400s and 1500s and 1600s, when really modern medicine got going, and even the 1900s and the 1800s and 1900s, when the pharmacomedical model really got going. It's kind of an anachronism in a way. Today, we can understand that there are invisible connections to the visible world. There's an invisible world behind the visible world. That's really what we're talking about here. The idea that where the breakdown occurs is not where the breakdown is visible is this idea that there's an invisible world that is controlling the visible world. That's basically what we're talking about here. The invisible world is where you get power. And you got to use your imagination and your intuition to see the invisible connection to the visible. Today, we got all kinds of science that proves it. We got all kinds of detective mechanisms. But as far as the body goes, you got to kind of get into it a little bit. You got to kind of see how the whole thing is put together and then use your intuition and your understanding of how all the things work together. That's why we always talk about in this program how everything works together. The triangle of disease. The idea that there's 3 points of bodily breakdown underneath everything. These are all kind of show how this is the idea of the structure of the body or the biochemistry of the body that underlies everything having an impact on our symptoms. Nobody wants to go there, and so we just end up working with our symptoms, but we lose our power and we lose our health because it doesn't work. Classic examples are skin diseases. That's why the skin is so fascinating to me, because it's a icon for how everything starts off where you can't see it. You see the skin, obviously, we see the skin. We see a rash on the skin, and it makes sense that we want to scrub the rash away. Kids when they have zits, or even old adults when they have acne, will try to scrub the acne away. There's this kind of sense that we can just take a washcloth and erase our pimples, or even erase our wrinkles for that matter. That's why we use creams, to erase our wrinkles. Think about it. When you're putting a cream on if you're using a wrinkle cream, aren't you kind of thinking implicitly, I'm going to erase my wrinkles? Aren't you? Probably maybe never thought about it that way, but there's this idea going on that you're going to erase your wrinkles, or your dark spots, or your pimples, or your eczema. We're going to erase it with the cream, because we see the problem as being where we see it. We think the problem is where we see it. Eczema. In the name, it tells you the secret right there. In the name, not eczema, the real name of eczema. Eczema is a colloquial term. It's a catch-all phrase. The real term for eczema is atopic dermatitis. Atopic means not topical. Atopic, not topical. It's right there in the name. It's a dermatitis that's not topical. What does that mean? It means you got a skin rash that's caused from something that's not topical. It's internal. Atopic means it's internal. It's right there in the name. KP. Keratosis pylorus, chicken skin. It's when you have bumpy little bumps on the skin. People have no idea what to do. I make various topical products that have vitamins in them, because as it turns out, KP is a vitamin deficiency, vitamin A, or at least part, or it could have something to do with the digestive system as well, but vitamin A is the treatment for it. So I make a vitamin A topical, but that doesn't mean you're going to erase the KP. It means it's going to work with delivering vitamin A to the cells and to the skin, and we're going to talk about how important vitamin A is for the growth of cells and for how cells divide and how they produce their protein. There are many, many skin problems caused by how cells grow and divide. That is such an important point. How cells grow and divide is behind, or dysfunctions or breakdowns in how cells grow and divide is behind acne, behind eczema, behind psoriasis, behind skin cancer, behind dry skin. All of these are the results of dysfunctions, breakdowns in how cells grow and divide. And cell growth and division is regulated, at least partially, by vitamin A. Vitamin A is a cell growth and division vitamin. That's why it's used to treat cancer. Vitamin A is actually retinoic acid, the same vitamin A you take for your acne or your anti-aging, or retinol, which is a precursor to retinoic acid, is used as chemotherapy for lung cancer, because vitamin A plays a major role in how skin cells divide. Just vitamin A. Yesterday we were talking about how Dr. Atkins used to give people 100,000 international units. The RDA, which I don't pay attention to, but just for reference sake, the RDA is about, I think it's like 3,000 or 4,000 IU vitamin A day. I recommend 20,000 a day. Dr. Atkins was recommending 100,000 for a short period of time. Vitamin A is one vitamin that's stored, so you don't want to take too much for too long. At least that's my opinion. But certainly 10 to 20,000 a day is not a problem. But remember, fatty vitamins and nutrients in general, it's not what you take, it's what you absorb. And vitamin A absorption is problematic for a lot of folks. All right, I'm pharmacist Ben, 844-236. 6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. on the bright side. 844-236-6010 is our number. Got lots of lines open. We'll get your calls our next segment. 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase longevity products, call 866-735-2470 or head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And for Truth Treatment products, go to truthtreatments.com. Everything your skin needs and nothing it doesn't. 100% active and functional ingredients in all our Truth Treatment products. Truthtreatments.com, compounded or developed in my compounding pharmacy. For wounds and for burns, it turns out they are the ideal and perfect and most effective anti-aging, anti-wrinkle, skin lightening, skin brightening, youth-promoting topical skin health products you'll ever use. Skin health formulations you'll ever use. I don't even like calling them products because they're more like medicines than products. Nutritional medicine. The idea of nutritional medicine is kind of interesting. Whenever I tell people that I work with medicine, I always feel funny telling people I'm a pharmacist. So I say I work with medicine. I always mean nutritional medicine, but people always think drug medicine. Whenever we hear the word medicine, we tend to think about drugs. That's not necessarily what medicine is. The idea that medicine and drugs go together, or medicine and pharmaceuticals go together, is kind of marketing. It's association. It's an association that was created by people who understood marketing and advertising techniques and how to make people think certain things. And they linked two things together. Drugs got linked to medicine at a time when human beings were very unsophisticated about how drugs worked. So all of a sudden, in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, drugs became synonymous with medicine. But historically, it wasn't like that. Hippocrates said, let food be your medicine. And food, indeed, is one of the best medicines, if not the best medicine, at least in terms of its therapeutic value, therapeutic ratio. That is how therapeutic it is to how toxic it is. Therapeutic ratio is a measurement drug companies use. There's lots of things that are therapeutic, but if they're really, really toxic, it's not going to do you any good. So you want something that has a lot of therapeutic value and not a lot of toxicity. A therapeutic ratio, you could call it. And food has a tremendous therapeutic ratio. Supplements as well. To me, supplementation and food are the best medicine. So when I say I'm a pharmacist, I always think of myself as a nutritional pharmacist, as a dietary pharmacist. I work with medicine, but not drug medicine. Anyway, all health challenges that are chronic and long-term and progressive are based in how we live our lives. There's no getting around it. Remember, I read a study about 25 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, from the Surgeon General who said 80% of cancers are lifestyle-based. I thought to myself, no, not 80%, 99.9%. The fact that he said 80% of cancers were lifestyle-based or diet-based, I think he said, that was pretty revolutionary. It's still revolutionary, 80%, but it's even more revolutionary than that. How our body shows up cannot be separated from what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we're eating, for better or worse. How we're breathing. Those are the fundamental leverage points of all disease, including the skin. No matter what your skin condition is, no matter what it is, if you understand, if you regard it correctly, it can reverse. And because the skin is moving so fast, reverse quickly, and you can stave off the further degeneration of your biochemistry into horrible diseases down the road. Dry skin, something as simple as dry skin is a harbinger. It's a portent. It is telling you something is coming up around the corner. Just dry skin, and everybody has dry skin. In other words, if you see health challenges in the skin as the body screaming at us, all of our bodies are screaming at us. Everybody. When I do my talks, I say, how many people have dry skin in this room? And I don't even remember one person. One person I recall a long time ago not raising their hand. Everybody raises their hand because everybody has dry skin. If you want to do one thing from a physical standpoint for dry skin, it's the same thing that you want to do from a physical standpoint for any skin condition. If I had to tell you one thing to take, I'll say, I'm not including here the psychogenic aspects, that is the psychological, spiritual, emotional, mental aspects of skin. If I had to tell you one thing from a physical perspective to do for your skin, I would tell you to work on your fats. And I say that to people, and sometimes it's hard to understand. What does that mean, work on your fats? You got to understand that in chemistry, and I'm sure most of you guys understand this because I talk about it all the time, there's a primal distinction in chemistry between fats and water. Oil and water don't mix. In chemistry, this is a fundamental distinction. Fatty stuff and oily stuff. Watery stuff. Oily stuff and watery stuff, fats and oils. The fats and oils have a certain type of chemistry that has a role to play in health, likewise with the watery stuff. Fats and water, the difference between fats and water in the body, fat soluble and water soluble, lipophilic technically, and hydrophilic technically, water loving, fat loving, however you want to say it. You can sum up the difference between hydrophilic and lipophilic, between fat soluble and water soluble, with peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter is fat soluble. Jelly is water soluble. If you put peanut butter and jelly on a knife and you stick it under a sink, what do you think is going to wash off, and you turn the water on, what's going to rinse off the knife? Obviously the jelly. Why? Because the jelly dissolves in water. It just goes, dissolves off of the knife and goes down the sink. The peanut butter, no, not so much. The peanut butter sticks. You might get a little bit out. It'd be very difficult to. If you got peanut butter off of your knife, it would be the pressure, not the water. Why? Because fats stick. That's the key. Fats are sticky. The sticky nature makes fats really, really important for structure. The structure of the body depends on fats. That is, the structure of the cells of the body depend on fats. Without correct fats, the cell structure the cells begin to lose shape. Cell structure loses its integrity without the right kinds of fats. And because fats are sticky, they make ideal, this is a little tricky what I'm going to say here, but it's very important, they make ideal information processors. Because the fats, actually it's the fats and the water together, but basically the main role is with the fats. Their stickiness allows them to kind of slow down energy. That's why they give structure. So energy's flowing. When it hits a fat, it kind of gets trapped in there. It slows down a little bit. And then it's released. It doesn't slow down. It's not locked in there permanently. It just slows it down a little bit, and then it's released. And that makes them ideal processors of information. And that's so cool because it means all of the cells, the outside part of all the cells, the so-called cell membrane, is an information processor. That information processing is a key factor or a key feature of how cells divide and grow, and ultimately how healthy skin will be. That's why fats are so important for the skin. The fats go to the skin cell membranes, the fats we eat, and sometimes the fats we put on top of our skin, go into the skin cells, go into the tissue, go into the bloodstream eventually, through foods anyway, and then the body uses them to construct healthy skin cells, healthy cells of all kinds, but we're talking about the skin. And then skin cells can divide correctly. That's why fats are so darn important for things like eczema, psoriasis, acne, actinic keratosis, which is pre-skin cancer, and skin cancer itself, not to mention dry skin. All right, I know that's probably a little bit confusing, but I'm not done talking about it. We'll continue discussing this when we come back from our break, and we do have all our lines open. If you're interested in speaking with us, 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back after this. Back on the bright side. Pharmacist Ben here. Got all our lines open. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have questions about skin health issues or nutritional supplementation issues, or you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, which everybody should be doing if they're on medication, if you're on medication that you're going to be taking for the rest of your life. That's what's a famous phrase. You're going to be on this medication for the rest of your life. If you ever hear that phrase and you're taking a medication for months or years, understand that your number one health goal, the best biomarker, the best biological marker of good health or of restoring yourself back to good health is how well you can wean yourself off your medication and get on a good nutritional supplement program. Drugs may keep you in the game, and that's debatable. That's arguable. I have my own opinion on that, but what's not debatable and arguable is they will cost you nutrition. They will cost you good health over the course of your life. And I'm sure that when people die of heart attacks or old age or whatever is on their death certificate, if they're on prescription drugs, you can bet your bottom dollar that those prescription drugs had some effect on that person's demise. Can't help but be, simply because of the nutritional resources that are expended in detoxifying medication. If you're on a long-term medication, statin drug or beta blocker drug or calcium channel blocker drug, number one health goal, to get on a good nutritional supplement program, and we can help you do that. 844-236-6010. And if you want to help other people do that in a business sort of way, you can start yourself a longevity business. We can teach you to be a health coach and help people understand how powerful nutritional supplementation can be. You don't need to diagnose. You don't need to be medical. You just need to understand from a common sense perspective how powerful a nutritional supplement program can be, how effective it can be, how life-changing it can be. If that sounds intriguing to you and you want to start a longevity business, call 866-735-2470 for more info, or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Okay, let's see here. This is kind of interesting from the National Academy of Sciences, the proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. The gut may be involved in the development of multiple sclerosis. No kidding. The gut is definitely involved in the development of multiple sclerosis. And when we say gut, we mean the intestine. The gut has long been suspected to play a role in autoimmune disease. A research team now has identified evidence of a potential mechanism. Folks, you don't need a potential mechanism. You just need to stop eating and see how you feel if you have multiple sclerosis. But the potential mechanism is, as we've been talking about on this program forever since I started. I've been talking about this since I left pharmacy school, pretty much, when it dawned on me, the relationship between the immune system and when I first heard that most of the immune system is in the digestive system, I was like, well, maybe there's a relationship here. And the more I studied, the more obvious it was. So anyway, they've come up now with a mechanism. You know what that mechanism is? T cells. You get more T cells. You get your antibodies, your defense system. T cells are a measurement of the defense system. When you have multiple sclerosis, you've got more T cells, digestive T cells, immune T cells, immune system, digestive T cells, in folks who have problems with intestinal disease, with intestinal health challenges, we'll say, not necessarily intestinal diseases. Researchers are aware that this specific protein offers a promising therapeutic target. They want to work with this specific inflammatory protein, SMAD7, that's found in T cells. Blah, 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 blah. You don't need to know any of that stuff. All you need to know is the gut is involved in not only multiple sclerosis, but in all autoimmune diseases. The intestine is the headquarters of the immune system. Small intestine specifically is the headquarters of the immune system. Target the small intestine. Now, it's true that you target the small intestine with foods and with probiotics and with apple cider vinegar and with digestive enzymes and with pancreatin and with fiber and with calorie restriction. I mean, there's a zillion ways to do it, but that's where you want to focus. If you have multiple sclerosis or you know somebody who has it, you know what a miserable, tragic health challenge it is. Get a book called The Walls Protocol. Now, remember, multiple sclerosis, like the skin is a poster child for organs of the body, multiple sclerosis is a poster child for autoimmunity. So what's true about multiple sclerosis is going to be true about scleroderma or psoriasis or Sjogren's syndrome or type 1 diabetes or any other autoimmune disease. Autoimmunity, like all health challenges, are based in autoimmune conditions, like all health challenges, are based in the same biochemical breakdown, despite the fact it may show up in different places, because where you see the problem is not where the problem begins. Immune problems always begin in the digestive system. Speaking of the digestive system, this one is also quite interesting. From the journal Cell Metabolism. Gut microbiome, speak of the devil. Gut microbiome fermentation determines the efficacy of exercise for pre-diabetics. The link between diabetes and the gut is becoming more and more clear every day, and that's in type 1 diabetes as well as type 2 diabetes. Our ability to process sugar our ability to get energy from sugar, our ability to become energized is intimate. This is what diabetes is about. It's a problem with the energy system. Sugar is part of the energy system. It's derived from problems in the digestive system. If you don't have, if you're not absorbing nutrients from foods correctly into the bloodstream, you're not going to be energizing the cells effectively. When the cells are not energized effectively, you become more and more of a sugar eater. When you become more and more of a sugar eater, especially in the presence of a lack of nutrition, your body goes through an up and down, high blood sugar, low blood sugar roller coaster, which cannot help but impact the adrenal glands and the thyroid, and boom, you are off to the races of chronic degenerative disease. That's the triangle of disease. Gut microbiome determines the efficacy of exercise for diabetics, the relationship between the digestive system and diabetes, and that is dysglycemia. I don't even like calling it diabetes. Dysglycemia, the relationship between messed up gut bacteria and dysglycemia is becoming more and more evident every day. This is another one here. Exercise-induced capillary density ups insulin sensitivity. When you exercise, your body is able to handle sugar more effectively. Diabetes is partially a disease of sedentariness. Yes, it does occur sometimes in athletes, and it occurs in people who are not sedentary, but largely it's associated with a sedentary lifestyle. Exercise training is associated with an increase in skeletal muscle capillary density, which contributes to improvements in glucose metabolism. One of the big problems with diabetes is it affects the flow of blood. Sugary blood is sticky blood. Sticky blood doesn't deliver its oxygen effectively. It doesn't deliver nutrients, and it doesn't deliver nutrients effectively. So one of the ways around, or one of the ways to protect yourself from diabetes or dysglycemia, is to increase the rate of improve blood flow. And one of the best ways to improve blood flow is to make more blood vessels. Exercise, as it turns out, creates an increase in blood vessel growth, capillary density. More blood vessels means more flow. More flow means more oxygen and more nutrition, as well as more detoxification. It's a problem with diabetes. Diabetes clogs things up. Here's another juicy one about diabetes. A common signaling pathway across cancer and diabetes. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll got lines open for you. We'll continue reading some news stories if we don't hear from you. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we are back on the bright side. 844-236-6010 is our number. I wanted to do one interesting story, and then we'll get your call, so hang on. This is... I was just pulling up a bunch of diabetes stuff today. Another diabetes story. A common insulin signaling pathway across cancer and diabetes, and oncology research has made an unexpected contribution to the understanding of type 2 diabetes. In results published in the journal Science Advances, Patrick Hu, MD, found a protein that controls cancer therapies is also important for insulin synthesis, for the production of insulin. There's a major relationship between cancer and insulin, because insulin's a growth hormone and cancer is a growth disease. Cancer cells utilize sugar extremely effectively. One of the all-time great strategies for cancer is the ketogenic diet. Why? Because it helps you, it stabilizes insulin sensitivity. It makes insulin, or improves insulin sensitivity. It stabilizes blood sugar processing. I said yesterday, two leading causes of death. The top three leading causes of death are heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. But you know what? Because diabetes and heart disease are linked to diabetes is the leading cause of death. Dysglycemia is the leading cause of death and misery across the world, and dysglycemia is secondary to messed up gut bacteria, to messed up digestive system. Forget the triangle of disease. We'll call it the line of disease. The triangle, the third point in the triangle, cortisol and thyroid, you can take care of that later. The first thing to do, work on the gut. The second thing to do is stabilize your blood sugar. There's not a single health challenge, especially skin health challenges, that won't improve when you work on those first 2 points. The first 2 points in the triangle of disease, the line of disease, that is the digestive system and the blood sugar system. All right. got a couple lines open for you. Let's go to Melody and say good morning. What's up, Melody in California? How you doing? Twice this week.
Hi,
nice to hear from you.
Good morning.
Nice to hear from you.
Hi. So, speaking of blood sugar, what can you tell me about the causes and how to best address low blood sugar? I have a daughter who's had this issue since she was little. We didn't even know that's what it was, why she was feeling woozy, and she needed to have, like fruit or something.
Her insulin has been Yeah, what happens is when you have low blood sugar, hypoglycemia, it's usually a sign that the body is secreting lots of insulin. There's a lot of, ironically, hypoglycemia is a result of too much sugar, because what happens is the body becomes very sensitive to sugar. Sugar is very dangerous stuff. So when there's a lot of sugar that goes in the body, insulin comes to the rescue. The more sugar you have, the more insulin you're going to have. The more insulin you're going to have at first. Later on, your body's not going to be responsive to insulin. But the first thing that happens when you're on the way to diabetes is your body is very responsive to insulin. And hypoglycemia typically means that your body, in a little kid especially, that her body is super sensitized to sugar. Now, usually it comes from the high blood sugar, low blood sugar roller coaster. So how old is this? Your daughter, you said?
Yeah, she's 18 now.
Okay, she's 18. She's always been that way, you said, right?
Yeah, so if she goes to work out really early, she found out, she's not hungry in the, like 6 in the morning, but she'll have to have something sweet, like those
she doesn't have to
have, or whatever.
She thinks she needs something sweet. What she wants is something that releases sugar slowly. Her brain is telling her to go get some sugar, but if you can give her something that helps that raises the blood sugar slowly, she won't have to deal with that insulin sensitivity issue as much. So you want to do things like fat, MCT oils. You ever hear that? MCT oils, you get that at the health food store. MCT oils would be great. And then also, if she's going to do sugar, she should do fruit that's got a lot of fiber in it, fibery fruits, and small amounts. And she should do nutrition, sugar stabilizing nutrition, especially the B vitamins, particularly B1 and B3, but really all the B vitamins with her intake of sugar. But I would do things like MCT and maybe protein also. Protein gets broken down into sugar. That's kind of interesting biochemical phenomena that we don't really address when we're trying to keep our sugar down, and that is steak and hamburger will turn into sugar. Now, that's a bad thing if you're trying to wean yourself off of sugar or lose weight. Not say a bad thing, but it can be if you do too much. But for your daughter, it could be a good thing. You follow me? The protein within a context or an environment of no sugar, no glucose, protein will get turned into glucose slowly. Especially if she's working out, that could be beneficial for her. All right, start off with an egg. Start off her morning with an egg or a piece of fish.
She's not hungry first thing. That's the problem, but she needs something in her stomach.
Have an egg.
So I'll try the
have a soft-boiled egg. Or get yourself one of those little blenders. They're tiny. They're like maybe, you know what I'm talking about? 6 inches tall.
Yep.
Okay. Get a little blender, get a little protein powder, crack an egg in there, and put a little almond milk. And it'll be like a cup. That's all she needs. Like a little bit of protein powder, crack an egg in there, and then some almond milk, maybe enough to fill a cup. Half a teaspoon of protein powder and an egg. That's what I would do.
Okay.
All right, Melody. But let me just ask you real quick. Did she have digestive issues when she was a baby? Did she have colic or anything like that?
She was colicky when she was born, and I know it was a hard pregnancy for me because I was under a lot of stress.
You're a classic example. Your daughter's a classic example of how that happens. When you're colicky, you're not absorbing your nutrients. You get cranky. We give them sugar, like, pear juice or apple juice or something, whatever. I don't know what most people do, or formula, or breast milk for that matter. And then that throws off the sugar balance because she gets this high blood sugar, low blood sugar roller coaster. That's probably what she's been going through her whole life. Hey, I want to get one more call in. Thanks, Melody. Appreciate your call very much.
You.
And we'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure. Steve in Minnesota. Good morning. Welcome to the Bright Side.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, I might be getting in the theoretical weeds a little bit here, but
all right, we can do that.
You were talking about fat-soluble vitamin C in topical applications?
Yes. There's a very big misunderstanding about vitamin C. If you go to my Facebook page, which I hope everybody will go to my Truth Treatments Facebook page, I did a video on vitamin C, and I got all of these people just saying, oh, you can make water-soluble vitamin C toner, blah, 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 because they don't make the distinction between water-soluble and fat-soluble. It's a very important distinction for topical. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was just thinking, wouldn't it be a good thing to use like a fat-soluble vitamin C as an oral supplement?
It's not as important orally because in the digestive system, in the stomach, the vitamin C is going to be released in the acid environment of the stomach. Ascorbic acid goes into the bloodstream very effectively through the digestive tract.
You wouldn't tend to store it like the other fat.
No, there's transport mechanisms. You don't store it. No, because fatty vitamin C is not used as fatty vitamin C. At the level of the cell, this is important. At the level of the cell does not use fatty vitamin C. By the time the vitamin C gets through the surface of the skin to the lower levels, it's been taken off, cleaved, enzymatically broken down, so the vitamin C is released from the fat. Does that make sense? The fat helps. It's like piggybacks along with the fat, and then there's enzymes in the skin that break it apart and release the vitamin C. So the cell is using water-soluble vitamin C no matter what. The fatty just helps everything go through. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
The fat's just a transport mechanism.
Just curious.
Okay? Yeah, that's a good question. And they do make liposomal vitamin C, and they do make something called ascorbyl palmitate, which is a fatty vitamin C, and you can buy that at a health food store, but you don't really need that. Really, vitamin C is handled very well internally by the body, super well. Once it gets into the bloodstream, it's off to the races. That's why they use IV vitamin C. So, no, you don't have to worry too much about the absorption or the body's ability to utilize vitamin C from supplements or from foods, for that matter. Okay. Do you use but just for curiosity's sake, Steve? Do I still have Steve? Steve?
Yeah.
Are you using fatty vitamin C for your skin? Or you just have the question?
I just take a lot of the supplements that you recommend and been getting good results, and just was curious
about using fatty vitamin C internally. You should.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you want to experiment with fatty vitamin C, truthtreatments.com. I've been working with fatty vitamin C for many years. Anything else, my friend?
Nope. That'll do it.
All right. Have a great day. Good to talk to you, Steve. Thank you. All right. Please check out our fatty vitamin C products at truthtreatments.com. That was the epiphany I had in my compounding pharmacy, was that you could use vitamin C topically to take advantage of vitamin C's anti-scurvy effects. Anti-scurvy meaning connective tissue building. Scurvy, vitamin C deficiency, is a connective tissue disease. It's a connective tissue deteriorating disease caused by vitamin C deficiency. What I discovered was that poor healing, aging, lousy skin in general is a type of scurvy. It can be thought of as a type of scurvy, and what that meant was by using vitamin C topically, putting vitamin C on top of the skin in a way that cells could use that vitamin C, that is fat-soluble vitamin C, you get dramatic anti-aging effects and dramatic healing effects, because really what you're getting with anti-aging and pro-healing is anti-scurvy, and vitamin C is the anti-scurvy vitamin. Vitamin C is a super, super important nutritional supplement, the primal panacea. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. Have a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to you later, folks. Bye for now.